Okay. Starting, it says. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. I hope that you like the way we're starting out this morning with the topic of our conversation up so that everybody knows. This is Lowell Ann, and this is the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle that meets every Tuesday morning at this time to share information, share encouragement, share a few laughs, etc. So happy to have you all here. And let's see, who shall we introduce the first time? I shall go on my right-hand side, but I think the viewer's left-hand side. So Nathan, how would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us where you are, what you do, and what's new.
Well, my name is Nathan. I'm currently in Ensenada, Baja California, Mexico. My gig for the last number of years has been writing, and I'm transitioning out of that. I'm just working on building a couple of streams to do with what I'm doing now. One is about ending all wars by ending the war within. That's one stream. I'm going to be interviewing celebrities for that. And the other one is a business interviewing series where I'll be interviewing a lot of online marketers and talking to them about what they do to cope with this changing world of the internet and what they use for their strategies now, because everything's evolving all the time. Anyway, that's what I'm up to.
Oh, that's good, and happy to have you here as usual, Nathan. And you are so right. Things are changing at breakneck speed, aren't they?
Very much so, yeah.
So, Jay, you're next.
Hi, my name is Jay, and I'm in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. My company is Affiliate Resources Incorporated, and I help people just like you get started in the world of online marketing. Let's see, what's new? Well, I got back from Vegas. I'm currently at the Betty Ford Center right now, detoxing. And it was a grand time. It was fantastic. Stayed at the MGM Grand in the Skyloft, and that was awesome. Lots of fun there, and did some gambling. Went and saw a couple shows and stuff, and acquired a plethora of new internet marketing knowledge by bouncing ideas off of each other. It was basically 15 other internet marketers, or affiliate marketers in this case, specifically tied into a company called Wealthy Affiliate. And it was really cool to listen to how other people do marketing strategies and write content. And it's actually quite interesting because the consensus is that everyone really is just writing pure content to help people, learn about internet marketing and steer clear of various opportunities that could be, labeled as scams. So it was great. I'll be updating some of this information inside my Wealthy Affiliate account through the blog system in there. So.
Right on. Looking forward to that. I must say that for the benefit of viewers, Jay does a regular sort of webinar every Friday evening, although it was Saturday this time. And this last time you were just answering questions that were coming from various members, but I must say I picked up a lot of very useful little tidbits.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm really glad to hear that. That fuels my my fire to keep pursuing forward. It really does,
And I, just to clarify, I'm not new to doing websites. I do my own website, and I'm not new to it. But there's always more little tidbits that you can learn from somebody who's further along the learning curve than you are. So.
Yeah. Well, I know you've been doing sites for at least as long as I've known you, which is about 10 years now. So.
Yeah, that's true. God, it's been that long, Jay.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So glad you're home again.
Thank you.
Okay. And Carlo, how about you?
Hi, good morning. Carlos Savio in Las Vegas. I'm a small business management and financial consultant. This will bring a smile to Lowland. I'm digitally fluent. I'm proficient in, thank you, proficient in several web programming languages. I've been accessing the internet since 1992. Currently, I run a small, comfortable business working with 6 to 8 clients at a time in 180-day cycles, helping them now compete both locally, both in their online and offline marketing. What's new is, in the other side of my house, I do financial consulting, and I'm currently working with a Spanish company to help bring some of their clients to distribution centers in the United States, and another group for a distribution center in Cuba. So that's got me pretty pumped this week.
Wow. Right on. Thank you. Now, folks, I can't figure out why when no matter who's speaking, when I'm speaking, my picture comes up, but when everybody else is speaking, Anne's picture comes up. So
There you have it.
I can't figure that one out. But Anne, you are next. So how would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Anne, and my company is Visionary Business Solutions. I am in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia. I spend most of my time helping small businesses get organized, improve their financial situation. I especially love working with construction companies. And then some of my time I spend between a couple of other things. One is fiber art, which is my big passion, and I'm also sort of dipping my toes into the waters of affiliate marketing through Wealthy Affiliates. So,
Ooh.
and I have a brandy grandbaby.
Ooh.
There's my news.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty big news, I would say.
Oh yeah, pretty happy about that one.
No kidding.
Another boy.
Right. So thanks for joining us this morning. It's nice for me to have a couple of other female faces that I not be the only one here. So, thanks for coming. Not that I don't enjoy the guys, because I certainly do, but don't want to feel alone.
Yeah.
So, and Anna, last but not least.
Ta-da! Here I am in sunny Mazatlan, where I spend the winters. My company is medevacana.com. We provide protection plans and any kind of services for snowbirds, in particular the ones coming to Mexico. On the side, thanks to Jay, I am developing another blog website thing, Move to Mazatlan. As a result of that, though, there's an offshoot. Something's happened, which I'm also going to hook up into that, called the Solo Snowbird. I realize I'm not the only snowbird that's single and comes down here a lot. So I may have a lot of tips and tricks and all sorts of things that I can share with other solo snowbirds. So that is also being developed. So I'm a busy girl. Yeah.
What a great idea. Oh, cool. And I see Craig has just popped in. Welcome, Craig. You just popped in time to introduce yourself.
Well, hi, I'm Craig, and I'm one of the snowbirds, but yeah, I haven't left the north.
If you haven't left the north, you're not a snowbird yet.
He's threatening to be a
You're a
snowbird.
I think you're a snowbird in training or a snowbird wannabe, perhaps.
Well, no, I did a significant amount of time as a snowbird. I left and stayed way down south in Florida for about 3 years.
Okay.
And yeah, so never mind. My name's Craig, and I run a business called Who Marketing, and I help local businesses with their online presence.
Right on. Thank you.
And you made it very difficult for me to find you this morning, Lauren.
Oh, I'd be happy to hear why, because I know what I did this morning. So when I created this Hangout that we're in right now, there was a a Hangout text thing popped up, and I just added everybody's name there and the link in there. So I'm thinking maybe I should, from what you said, maybe I should create a new one.
I had to go into the community and search for it and find my way in that way because I never got a notification that was going on.
I see. Okay, so probably I experienced the same thing. It's probably because I mute the previous Hangout so they don't get all these notifications popping up.
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
Well, and that was on my mind this morning to because I remember last week I think it was Heidi who left a comment maybe on an event page. My goodness, it was like there were so many layers of trying to get in here, and so I thought it would be useful just to chat a little bit about what's the quickest way for you folks to know about it and get in, because not everybody's the whole event page thing in Google Plus is not as prominent as it once was. So if you have a desire to participate, what I would recommend is that you go to the Being Your Own CEO community and click on, there's a place where you can click and tell it that you want the notifications. And so it's up in the right-hand corner, and it allows you to tell it that you want to receive notifications. So that's one way.
Lolan, the way that I use, like this morning when I wanted to come in, I just pressed on the Google Plus button within that cluster that you get at the top right, and it comes up, and right on the top right it says upcoming events, Being Your Own CEO, and I just clicked on that, clicked on the ticket, and that's how I came here.
So say the first part again. I didn't quite catch. You said when you went into Google Plus.
Okay. I just clicked on the Google Plus icon. You know that cluster of the 9 icons at the top. Like if you're in Gmail, I go to Gmail. I click on the Google Plus thing in the cluster.
Yeah.
It comes up with whatever's going on in Google Plus. At the top right, it says upcoming events. And there's your event and Roland's event, which I'm signed up for. And so I just click on yes, or just click on it rather, and it goes to a page where it shows me, hold on a second, let me do it again so I can actually explain it while looking at it. So I click on the Google Plus.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. I'm just trying to remember how to do that. Give me a sec here.
Actually, I can share mine because I have
Actually, it's okay. I got it. So I go to my email, Gmail rather, click on the Google Plus icon, and it comes up with the Being Your Own CEO and the upcoming events. I just click on that, and it takes me to your page, and I just come down here and I click on the official site.
Okay, so that takes you to the event page.
Yeah, it takes me to this thing where I just log in with Google, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So here's what I do when I'm setting up. I put something into the community. I put something into my collection, and then I also do an event page. Because if you're in Google Plus, if you've got your notifications set to receive notifications of events that you want to be involved with, it will do that. But not everybody has their notifications set up in the right way. So, and then the other way would be to go to the community and tell the community that you want to receive notifications, and then it would show up as one of the items in that little number, Mr. Jingles. Does everybody know what Mr. Jingles is?
Nope. Not a clue. What the hell is Mr. Jingles?
I'll share my screen. So do you see this little number up here?
Yeah.
That is Mr. Jingles. So when I click on that, it tells me what I'm getting notifications for.
Is that official Google Plus verbiage?
I don't think so.
I somehow think you made that up. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Well, you see, it's a little bell.
I know.
No, actually, I believe it is official Google terminology.
Oh, is it? Do you think so? I think it's I thought it was just the notifications button.
I don't know. Somehow I think you're being inventive, but that's just me.
No, I've actually seen Google people talking about Mr. Jingles and calling it Mr. Jingles. Yeah. And I went, what the heck is that? And then I searched it out.
I stand corrected.
Yeah. So, but what shows up in that Mr. Jingles or that notification has to do with how you've got your notifications set. So some people have their notifications that just send an email. Some, like me, I have the email part turned off because it just becomes overwhelming. So I prefer to get my notifications through Mr. Jingles. And so as soon as I open Google+, I see, actually I can see whether there are any notifications in any one of Google's products. That little number is there. So that's the easy way. But yeah, it is becoming quite complicated, especially for people who learned the old Ronnie Bincer way of getting into Hangouts.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good segue to start what we were talking about, just the complexity. Yeah.
So here we had sort of identified last time that it would be a good idea to talk about questions that we get from the 55 plus crowd and about the web, because we're all involved in web development or the web in some way. I'm sorry for this bouncing back and forth. I can't figure out what's causing that. Does anybody have any suggestions?
Are you talking about how when someone else speaks, someone else's video shows up?
What's happening is when I'm speaking, if there's a little, just a little pause, it bounces over to Anne.
I experienced that last week. I don't remember who it was that was always on, but yeah, I experienced that as well every once in a while. It just seems to be like a glitch in the system.
Oh, what? That's disconcerting.
Yeah.
I might have to turn my camera off.
I
bouncing over to me all the time, Lolan?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's just because I'm so magnetic that Cam just wants me. I'm sorry. Yes. I'll do what I can. No, it's because I have a cold.
It's the curse you have to live with, Anne.
And the subtlety is overwhelming.
I'm going to try something here and see what happens. So bear with me. There's in my little menu place, there's a camera. It says broadcast participant. So if I click on that, it stays. All right. So
there you go.
I will see if I can manage this a little bit if it's causing problems for everyone. So it certainly will likely cause problems for the recording. So just this topic that we thought we would have a chat about. So what are some of the questions? And I was working with somebody yesterday who wanted to know more about Evernote. And when I asked her what browser she normally uses in her computer, she had no idea what I meant. This person has been in business for a long time, has a website, does email, does all of those things, but didn't know what a browser was. So we run into those kinds of problems about terminology and the language of the internet. And I was ruminating this morning about that, and I thought, you know, if you were just coming on now, how would you learn what all of that terminology means? I honestly don't know how I learned all that terminology. It just sort of sunk in as time went on. So, does anybody have any ideas about, like, if a person were new, how would they discover what all those terms really mean?
Yeah, I think it boils down to how they got their computer set up for them. In relation to the browser, for example, I would imagine that person probably just had their computer, came out of the box. Maybe they called someone to, initially set it up, and then it was good to go. So, it's like, then you go click here for the internet. All right, I'll click that thing for the internet, and then they're on the internet, and then they don't have to worry about different browsers and whatnot. So, but I think if you start reading about, browsers and like, oh, this browser's better, and this browser, that's when you're going to start to learn more about, what a browser is and which one is better than the other. So, in that aspect. So I think it really boils down to how you got your computer set up, because that's the premise of because in most cases nowadays, regardless whether it's PC or Mac, it's ready to go outside of the box. The only thing you might need to do is pop in your internet connection and then, type in the password for that, and then it's more or less good to go.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of customization depending on, well, if you're a power user, then there's that. But then, I mean, I'm the worst person to be asking about this thing because I'm working with technology all the time. And yesterday I wound up having a chat with one of my editors who said to me, what I really need more than anything else is all sorts of utilities for the PC to make it run better. So I wound up doing a lot of research on that yesterday. But because I'm immersed in technology all the time, I'm constantly learning about this stuff. I'm kind of forced to, in a way.
Well,
sorry, can I just quickly rebut, to answer what Nathan was saying?
Mm-hmm.
I used to be very immersed in technology too when I was doing, when I had a PC, and it was all about, which was the best antivirus and which was the fastest browser and what about plugins for browsers and stuff. And then I got a Mac, and all that went away.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
And it just it made me realize, take a step back and go, oh my God, I spent this exuberant amount of time investing in, best antivirus, best anti-spyware, best this and that, and all this kind of, and I ended up becoming this techie kind of, quasi-techie kind of guy. I started building my own computers because I wanted the absolute best one that was I can just turn on. I know there's irony there, right? Well, I wanted the best computer where I could just turn it on and it was good to go. And as a result of that, I had to learn about best antivirus software and all best hardware and et cetera, et cetera. So but ever since I've been using Macs, it all went away.
Yeah, I on a recent conference on Mac.
Well,
there's a Jay.
For years and years and years and years, countless that I care to add up, I was a totally a PC person. The Macs are overpriced, Apple this and Apple that. But 4 years ago now, I bought a iPad, and at first I was like a little confused, and then I became a huge iPad lover. I loved it. It was great. And I think Apple, or Macs and iPads now, can make it a lot easier for a new person over 55 to transition into the computer world, because it is a lot easier to get it. Like, just skip over the PC thing and go straight to Mac. I never thought I would ever say those words in all these years, but yes, I totally agree that it's a lot more user-friendly. Another thing I suggest too is anyone that's just basically starting out with nothing is to perhaps guide them so they can get on YouTube to start off with. And there you'll find a lot of basic introduction videos and that sort of thing, and what the terminologies are, how to use this and that. And that's a good way to start, have people start off that are with zero knowledge. Anyway, that's my 10 cents worth.
And that's a very good recommendation, Anna, because there is no end of information in YouTube. That's a great place to go. Yeah. So, Carlo, I think I heard you sort of saying, trying to break in there.
I was just having a go at Neil. I'm sorry. Jay said if you want to save on antivirus software, you didn't have to buy a Mac. You just download Linux.
Now, if we're talking about the basic stuff that we hear from 55-plussers, we are out into tech language here, big time. So
it was just
I know
schoolyard thing.
You're taking the piss.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so I did a little bit of research yesterday, and one of the things that I would like to point up and this is particularly for our viewers, is that Google search is now set up in such a way that you get much better information if you actually type in a question. And so one of the questions that I saw in there, I did a bunch of searching around yesterday just for the fun of it in preparation for today. So one of the questions that I saw was, why do I need a website? So that's an example. Or what is a search engine? So those are two examples of the kind of question that you can put into Google search now. It used to be, searching used to be a lot more difficult than it is now. So if you find that there's something that you don't understand or you don't know, then just type your question in, and you'll be amazed at the responses that you'll get. And quite often, as Anna said, it'll point you to a video of some sort in YouTube that'll explain it all, or even show you how to do it, or whatever it is. So, but
my experience too with the YouTube situation is it's amazing how many young people, and I'm talking, some of these kids are like 14, 15, 16. I've actually been explaining things to me that I wanted to learn quite clearly. Sometimes they go a little fast, but I just watch the video 2 or 3 times and I get it. But within 15 minutes, they've explained and gone through all the steps. Really quite interesting. So I'm getting a lot of good information from these young people.
Absolutely. So,
if I may, that's an important point from a marketing standpoint. People don't go to YouTube to buy. They go to YouTube to learn. So if you're investing a lot of money trying to get people to buy something on YouTube, you'd be better served fine-tuning your spend on that kind of thing.
Yeah, I could not say it any better. You know, it's the first point of entry of a sales funnel. You know, it's that first information thing. Now, there's ways to do lead generation through YouTube. You know, and also building trust. You know, it's also, you know, building your own brand. And if you are your brand, then I think having videos inside YouTube is very ideal. You know, what I try to do with every post that I do inside Affiliate Resources is I try to also do a quick video, like an over-the-shoulder video that coincides with the topic within the content that I write, and that seems to work really well. And it actually drives a lot of traffic to these blog posts and these articles that I write, because in the description, the very first thing I put is, you know, read the full article with a link pointing back to the article. Mm-hmm. And yeah, absolutely.
So, what other questions have you folks noticed when you're working with clients and when you're out there, sort of interacting with people and discussing, you know, what's going on the web on the internet.
The number one thing that I see, whether it be within WA or outside of WA, Wealthy Affiliate, is do I need to get a social media account? Do I need a Google Plus account, or do I need a Facebook or Instagram, or which ones should I get? You know, because this is at the point where they've already built a site, and then they want to, because one of the things that we teach inside Wealthy Affiliate is utilize social media to gain attention to your website and drive traffic to your website. So a lot of people say, well, which one should I pick? Which social media should I pick? I think that's a very valid question, because you know, if you're in a cooking niche, you're probably better off going to Pinterest and Instagram, where they're more visual based, as opposed to, you know, like Google Plus and Facebook. Now, I always recommend Google Plus because I personally think the things that you do inside Google Plus affect the rankings of your own website. But you know, that's not really related here. But yeah, so it's interesting that they ask, you know, what social media should I use, or should I even bother with social media? It's so scary. It seems like there's a lot of, you know, young people there and whatnot. So I think that's a really valid question, because we are in an age of information overload. You know, there's so many things coming at us at this such a fast pace. You know, it's like ping pong balls being thrown at you, and you're trying to catch each one to read the little messages that are on each ping pong ball. And you know, I think you got to pick your battles carefully when it comes to social media.
Well,
the one question I get asked the most, especially from totally non-techie people my age, is, oh my God, is it safe? What about security? Everybody's going to see everything. You know, there's all these people hanging around the corner getting my personal information. That's the biggest thing, I think, with a lot, especially the 60-plussers, is the security safety features.
And I might just amplify that. Yes, this client that I was working with yesterday, we got into that conversation about using social media, and her comment was quite revealing, I thought. She said, "I'm a very private person. I don't want to have to go on to," and I think she might have been thinking about Facebook, where everybody puts what they had for breakfast, etc., on there. And I think that she made an assumption that all of the platforms were like Facebook. So when I explained that Google Plus was way more business oriented and interest oriented, and very few people put that sort of personal information on there, and that was something she didn't know. So yeah, but yeah, so it's two things. It's fear of being hacked and fear of losing your identity, your you know, your personal information, but also just being really a very private person and thinking that you have to put all this personal stuff on there. Yeah. Craig, I saw you with your hand waving. I think you have something to add.
Yes, I have a different sort of dilemma with privacy. I work with a lawyer, and you want to talk about paranoia and out on the internet. When it comes to the law, they have serious firewalls in place, and they instruct their people that, you know, cell phones get turned off at the door type thing. There are significant problems that can creep up if you're in the law field and you're trying to protect sensitive data. And so yeah, I mean, some of these people they cannot have a Facebook account just because there's a possibility that somebody might connect them with something that's going on.
Sounds like a criminal defense lawyer.
Actually, she's more of a corporate person, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
May I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
From the advent of national identification numbers and driver's license and bank accounts, all your information is already out there. You're just seeing it close up vis-a-vis the internet, and they just keep, they keep at. So when people say I'm a very private person, it's okay. Give up your driver's license, give up your bank account, and you won't get that paper mail anymore to vote for this person or to do this thing, that thing. However, on the other side is, if you'll notice, Facebook keeps trying to tickle you into giving more and more and more information so that it can be resold. So you just want to be careful about that.
Yeah, and they deceptively say it as increase your security, give us your phone number. There's an irony there, right?
More than just a bit.
I'm actually curious, Carlo, because I know you had mentioned that you specifically work with in a small group of 6 to 8 clients.
Yeah.
But I remember you mentioning that the majority of them are within the 55 plus range. What is the mean questions that you get? What are the kind of common things that you get when it comes to a marketing perspective? I'm actually very curious about that.
One of the things that let's say I had a conversation a few months back with a client when they were in the prospect stage. They were referred to me, and so we began to spoon feed them on search engine optimization, because I asked a couple of questions at the beginning. Is what's the two most important things you want to get out of being a business online? And when they narrow it down, maybe it's like more conversions or how will I know when I'm ranking, then I can focus in on what they want. So now, when they said to me, after we started talking more and more about search engine optimization, there's an interesting revelation. They said, oh, I didn't think it was this involved. I thought search engine optimization, you paid somebody a lot of money, and there you were. So what I've learned to do is I required they get either a paper book or a Kindle book, a book called Marketing in the Age of Google. And it's a walkthrough of the whole system. So from a business mentality, they know pretty quick. After I said, just get up to chapter 6, I'll handle chapter 6 on as far as the technical side. And that's what I do with every new client. So does that answer your question?
It does, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I think that's good if you have this kind of one resource that you go, here, read that.
Yeah, well,
that's good. I like that.
Marketing in the Age of Google is.
Is that by Joel Comm?
I beg your pardon?
Is it by Joel Comm? Marketing.
No, the name escapes you right now, but you Google. Just Google Marketing in the Age of Google. It probably was published a couple of years back, but.
Oh, right, Vanessa Fox. Okay.
Yes, thank you. I had a thought day. All right, so, but with that book, at least they're on the same page. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, in the early 90s, when I was an ISP, I had a whole bunch of different problems. I would be talking to a customer on tech support, and they say, well, I can't get online, and I could see in the switches they were online, and I said, okay, where are you? And they'd say, what do you mean, where am I? I'm in front of the computer, Or, okay, are your modem lights working? Modem lights? What's a modem? So I would, for the fun of it, because the reason I was an ISP was to find business consulting clients. So I'd go to their location, basically sit on their lap, and take them through what needs to be done. So there's different ways to start them off. What everybody else has suggested here is, for some people, it's overwhelming. It is so much coming at you. All of us go through an overwhelming onslaught of information every day. You have to turn the noise on, turn the noise off. there's probably more people selling services to people like us who sell our services than there are people who are buying our services. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And to add to that point, I think we've all started on the same level. At one point, we were all on that same level of knowledge.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the age that you start the knowledge in. Some people start earlier, some people start later, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Dealing with the thousands of people inside Wealthy Affiliate, people starting, in a variety of different age ranges. It's really neat to see the happiness that they emit through their blog posts of when they built a site, like a website. They go into their Wealthy Affiliate has a system called Site Rubix, which is, for the lack of a better term, an installer of WordPress.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool to see people go like, "Oh my God, I have a website." So it's really neat to see that, and that's actually one of the things that I really enjoy about Wealthy Affiliate is that they've got the mentality of trying to keep things as rudimentary as possible. It's like they see these issues, and one being is people trying to create websites. So, all right, well, let's build something so that it makes it easier to create a website, and it really is very easy. Now, the next issue was buying domains and pointing the domain names to the server so that it shows up. That's a very complicated process. You gotta. I mean, we all take it for granted because we've done it before, and it's like buy a domain. Okay, now I got to go back and I got to go change the name servers, or they DNS. What the hell are they, right? Well, what's NS1 and this, and so on and so forth. And then it's done, and then you have to wait. Why is it not working? Why is it not working? So what Wealthy Affiliate does is like, all right, well, we'll just become a domain registrar where you can buy your domain right inside Wealthy Affiliate. Now they have this, so now you can buy your domain, plug it into your website, and it's ready instantly because the name servers are already propagated as WA's name servers. So since that inception, people are just blown away, and more people are building their own sites on their own domain versus the Site Rubix subdomain. So it's been really cool. This was actually one of the topics that we were talking about in Vegas, was to see this ability where people were able to instantly create these domains and websites literally within a few minutes, and it's really empowered people. And I think when you're at that beginning stages of building a website, regardless of what age you are, when you get it done quickly, it really empowers you and it makes you feel confident and you're ready to take on that world. And I think it makes the journey a lot easier, when it comes to building a website. So, I mean, these are very common questions that I've seen is like, how do I build a website? How do I buy a domain name? How do I connect, this to that and whatnot? So,
Well, but Jay, I'm going back to some clients that I've encountered, and this fear of going to social media, et cetera, and I mean the very basic notion is, why do I need a website? And I mean, it's in order to be found. And that's why you go on any of your social media things, is so that you will be found.
Yeah.
And I find that people who are in business, that somehow or other, some of them lose touch with that idea. They get so wound up in their own fear.
Can I address that for you, Lolan?
Pardon me?
Can I address that for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely.
Since the advent of the internet in 1992, prior to that time, small business has always whined and prayed for a level playing field. With the internet, they have a level playing field. Now you go back to your person about, why do I need an internet? Why do I need to be online? If you're talking about a retail merchant, if you're talking about any kind of a business person, say, wait a second. You have in here, you've got business furniture, you've got a showcase, you've got inventory on display, you've got inventory in the back office. You had to learn a lot of all that stuff. So what happens now is the internet is your glass storefront.
Yeah.
So we're extending you from Main Street onto the internet, and it's a transition. And it's the old Teddy Turner, either lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Yeah, it's where your customers are now hanging out.
Sure. And Lola, the last piece is, the last few pieces is coming back to security. They should be more worried as people who are blogging that they are in fact a de facto publisher. And so anything they write is subject to interpretation by the legal fraternity or the wailing person who thinks that they're a victim. So that's a really important point they should take in consideration.
Here is a comment from I don't know. This is strange the way this is working. Anna says, "Move with the times, or the times will move you."
Here.
Okay, so I just wanted to make a little comment because I'm always a little bit on the outside here because most of my clients aren't on the internet, don't want to be on the internet, don't need to be on the internet. So it's kind of interesting because not everyone that is in business needs to be on the internet. It doesn't work for some businesses.
Yeah.
And I know you guys find that so hard to believe, but it's true.
No, I believe it because I think there's a lot of businesses that rely on referrals, right? My local SEO business relies a lot on referrals. It's kind of ironic because nobody searches for local SEOs on the internet. They always go, they always hear about someone else ranking. And
Yeah,
this happens
the old comment of "Who do you know that?"
Who did that for you or something like that. Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. Yeah, it's really funny because, and so, and so here I am building this websites and stuff, and sure, it ranks for a variety of terms related to my business, but I get very few leads from cold leads as a result of the website. It's always through word of mouth referrals, which is really funny. There's such a great irony in that, and I love that. So I totally, I know Ann works with construction businesses, and I know a lot of construction businesses don't necessarily need to be on the internet, and my reply to that is it's essentially their online CV, for in regards to construction. They can have a little photo gallery of their before and afters and stuff like that, but it's not really a marketing per se, for lead generation. It's like their digital brochure, and
that's what it really is. Years ago, I used to send out brochures to construction companies. If you're a sub, you wanted to work for a construction company, you'd send them your brochure. Now you send them a link if you have a website. I mean, it's still valid, but it's a very different part of the market, and they're not the only ones. I mean, I have other people that I know that are in business that say they're in retail, and they have no interest in selling online. They don't want to do that. They have enough business. They're happy with how their business is running, and so if you don't want to sell online and you're a very locally based retail operation, you don't really need to be on the internet, except that a lot of people love to have that sort of interaction now through social media with the owner of a business.
So it defines your audience. It really does define who is going to be your potential client. If you're not on the internet, regardless of what business you are, and if you don't have some sort of digital brochure, it's going to affect who is going to be calling you. So you're then relying on the people who are still using the Yellow Pages, or they're still using like word of mouth referrals, and that's totally cool. That's totally fine. But if you want a younger audience or a younger group of people who are willing to pay you for these things, then I think it's necessary. And there's a cycle there, and I think the cycle of word of mouth referrals and not being on the internet is slowly going to be dissipating, because I think the age where people are not using the internet, they don't want it, they want to use those Yellow Pages, that's that's
Yeah.
I think slowly becoming extinct. Not to become morbid, but so the new era is kind of replacing that era now, and so I think it's eventually going to be extinct. These
Well,
the yellow pages and stuff.
we have to look at the use of smartphones, and the local retail store may say, I don't want to sell online, but they want to be found, and that's what people are using today to find various retail outlets and restaurants and whatever else by using their smartphone.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so that's the very reason that some businesses are going to need to be on the internet in some way, so that they are going to be found.
Yeah.
And I might, and we have a tendency to kind of make assumptions about a certain age group and a certain demographic. Well, I live just up the street from Cook Street Village here in Victoria, and there's a Starbucks down there, and when you go in there, there's lots of people like some of us with white hair, but one thing that you will notice, that every single one of those people has a digital something in front of them.
Yeah.
In a humorous, sorry.
Go ahead.
In a humorous transition, some of you might remember when we switched from a rotary dial to a touch-tone phone. And they were whooping and complaining, and why do I need a touch-tone phone?
I have found that either people are open to change or they're closed to change. My dinosaur ex-husband was fighting tooth and nail to receive paper bills, hydro and gas and all that stuff. And then he was getting upset because they were charging him $1 extra on his bill or whatever it was to receive these things. And then eventually they're not going to be sending it anymore. They have to get it by email. Well, how am I going to pay it? To pay it online. No, I want to go into the bank with a piece of paper. And even the bank started to balk at that and charge $2.50 for every time he walked into the bank. So if you're forced to switch over, I mean, otherwise we get the tin can and the string to communicate with each other. There's got to be some progress in here.
I miss the rotary phones. I really like those things.
As Darth Vader said, resistance is futile.
Oh, dear.
That's great, Anna. That's great. Dinosaur brains. I love that expression. One of those, you are where you were when. It's like, Anna, when was the last time you came up to a guy and he still had his hair combed over his ears? And his sports jacket you could land planes on.
Oh, dear. So, do you think we've killed this topic sufficiently now, folks? I'm looking at the time, and we are at the hour. So I do think it's time that we wrap up this conversation. And I just want to do that with a reminder to please join the Being Your Own CEO community and turn on the notifications so that you can receive notifications of these Hangouts more readily. You'll find lots of resources and conversations there. I like to post things that I think solo entrepreneurs will find interesting. And I invite you folks, members of the community, to do the same. If you find something that you think that would be of good use to a solopreneur, please feel free to post it there so that it becomes a nice little quick resource for people. So, if YouTube is your pleasure, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have all of the previous Being Your Own CEO success circles are posted there according to the topic that we spoke about. So this is Lowell Ann signing off from Being Your Own CEO for this week. Thanks all for joining me this morning, and I enjoyed the conversation.
Crossing